Liam, that was an eye-opener tonight, I think, against a very good team, and 2-0. And you've seen 3 games now, a win, a loss and a defeat. What are your views on the game?
Look, I thought Spalding deserved to win. It was always going to be tough. I think the 2 away games we've had were going to be a test. You know what? We're a work in progress, and I've said that even with the win against Corn. But and just disappointed today in terms of we've lost the game on 2 set pieces. Positive is, we've kept a clean sheet in terms of open play. But I did say to him in there that it's at times there were spells where it just looked like men against boys at times. We've had frailties all season in terms of conceding sort of poor goals, and they are poor goals. Look, they say they're good goals for them in terms of the set piece. The corners, the lads headed it well, but we had 3 extra bodies in the box. Look, we're not the biggest, most physical team, and we know that. That's probably something we need to work on. I just said to them that in 2 weeks, 3 weeks time we won't concede goals like that. We know we have to be physically better. But no, look, I think Spalding deserved to win the game. And I just said to them the same thing you've just said to me, that it's a bit of an eye opener. We're not where we want to be. We're making small steps, but this was a test today, and it was one where we've ultimately failed, because I don't think we've done enough to we created a few things first half, but second half we had that spell for sort of 15-20 minutes where we were on top, and then we got sucker punched with the set piece, and that sort of killed the game off. So look, there's lots to work on. We're disappointed, but we have to dust ourselves down and go again on Thursday.
Yeah, it'd be a shame if you weren't disappointed, really. I mean, we could all see what's missing, really. We moved the ball around really well. There was some good interplay between the players. Just in the final ball, isn't it? The striking option seems to be at the moment the area that lets us down.
Yeah, I think obviously, look, we couldn't play Clifton today, being that he's on loan from Spalding, and he's the one that we sort of earmarked to come in and be that sort of number 9 for us. So yeah, we need to improve in that area. I think there's other areas we need to improve in as well. But I've said to the players that since I've been in, they've worked extremely hard, and I can't fault the work rate for today. You take the 2 set pieces away, and the game ends 0-0. I just thought Saturday against Corn we had just that little bit more in the final third, just that little bit more, but ultimately Spalding are a good team as well. So look, they're disappointed. I have said to them, look, they're going to lose games of football, and look, we're not afraid of losing games of football. That's part and parcel of it. But what I'm looking at is a reaction. Going into training Thursday, going into Saturday, and making sure that we bounce back straight away with a solid performance. And it was okay today, but for us to be better, we need to make sure we're defending our box much better than we did today.
As you say, we're going to Saturday's game against Bromsgrove, then in a week today we're at Stamford before we're back at Latimer Park. It seems to be a lot of travelling at the moment, games coming thick and fast. It's possibly what you want to get back on the horse straight away, isn't it? And start to put your plans into fruition.
Yeah, it is. Look, it's hard in terms of away game after away game. We've sort of got a run of it. I think is it 4 or 5 games that we've sort of had we'll have on the trot away from home. But it's something that we'll just have to deal with. They're fit lads. It will be tough going into Saturday with Bromsgrove. I don't know how they've got on today, but they've been on a good little run themselves. So
I think they were losing.
I was there. So, but we know it will be tough. If they've lost, they'll want to bounce back. So it'll just be a test for us, and I think we need to work hard on Thursday, which we will. We'll have maybe Will obviously was ill today, and he's been a big factor in our clean sheets. Do you want him in the box in scenarios like this tonight? Yeah, you do, because he's been a force for us in those areas. Obviously, with Clifton being able to play on Saturday as well, so that gives us a bit of a boost with bodies, because we were a bit light tonight. And if we can get one in the door, we can, we'll be stronger. But the players have been brilliant. The fans were, clapping them off as well. They've worked hard. I just think we've got some real talented footballers, but we need a little bit more in certain areas to compete with the top teams right now. I did say to them, honestly, picking up 3 points out of the Corn and the Spalding game was priority for us, and the boys have done that. We've set targets, realistic targets, because yes, we're Kettering and we're a big club, but we're not right there at this moment in time. I think the fans can see it. I'm a new manager coming in, I can see it. I think the players can see it. But there were some good performances from individuals tonight, which I expected and I got. But I did say there was a few that needed to be better, and they have to be better to be at this football club because of the demands. So look, we're disappointed. We'll dust ourselves down and we'll go again on training Thursday, and then look forward to Saturday.
Thanks, Liam.
Cheers.